Hi everybody, welcome back, and if this is your first time, welcome. My name is Haddad, and today I'm going to tell you about a decision that I made regarding a house that I brought up, a month ago, when I was scared with cold feet and I was crying myself to sleep at night. Oh God, what if someone gives me an amazing piece of real estate for me to live in and take care of and basically own, but eventually really have my name signed off on the deed of. I don't know if any of those words formed a sentence, but to me it made sense. Basically, I'm telling you that this house that I've been looking at with my parents, many houses, but this theoretical conceptual house that we've been talking about buying, we finally did. We found a good one, thanks to you guys, and really actually just mostly thanks to you guys, maybe something my brother said too, but decided that the resistance that I had to it, which was basically just that for a lot of my life, because of my struggles with mental illness, my parents have played a huge financial role in everything. There's been a few years in total where I've been completely financially independent. But even then, really, they were paying for my cell phone. So I was resistant because I want to get away from that. Not because I'm stubborn or I hate my parents, but because I know it's the right choice for me. I'm an adult. I need to be completely taking care of myself that way. And at some point, not to get too morbid in this video, but my parents will pass away. That help is not going to be there forever. And if they're gone and I'm grieving, but now also I have to do all of that stuff and I haven't even, little dip my toes in the pool or whatever of financial freedom, then I'm not going to have a clue what I'm doing, and I'm going to be lost because they're gone, and I'm going to be lost in every other area too. So I didn't want to make the decision to allow my parents to help me buy a house willy-nilly. I didn't want to make the decision without really thinking about it. It was pretty clear immediately that it's what I should be doing, because it's not only is it a property that we're paying for and now we own, and we're not just throwing the money away to rent, but it's also cheaper every month. So even if it was just another house that I was renting, it would still be saving hundreds of dollars every month. So I feel like there was a thought somewhere in there or a sentence that I didn't finish, but that's probably true because I just woke up a little bit ago, and also that's just how I am all the time. We were looking at houses. We found one that was unbelievable. We went inside and I'm not looking for anything huge. It's not going to be a 2-story. It'll be a ranch house. So I think this one was like 1,500 square feet, and really interesting layout. It honestly reminded me of something out of a Harry Potter book. Just the way that it was laid out, and in the main room, which is where most of the square footage was, the main room and the kitchen, the living room, it was all like one entity, and it was very, very tall, even though it was a single-story house. So it was almost like this very well decorated tower that you were standing in when you were in the living room. And then even the bedrooms and offices apart from that main room had weird walls up, but it all made sense. I'm saying weird, but it just made it look really interesting, and it was labyrinthian without even being very big at all. You're moving 50 feet from one side of the house to the other, and you feel like you've gone on an adventure. And what we realized was, it's way too expensive. Not way too expensive, but that amount of money didn't need to be spent. It could have been spent. It wouldn't have been the worst mistake in the world, but what you were paying for there was not essential. And maybe even more importantly than the money, the reason that house looked so amazing was, sure, some of it was just the layout, the bones of the house, but it was really the way that the owners of it had decorated it. They had done such an amazing job making this house a home that walking into it, not even being the person that lives there, I knew that I want to live here. I'm going to make it look like this. And the truth is, there were thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars spent making it look that way. Just really tasteful choices on furniture and where that furniture is placed, and knickknacks and paintings and this, that, and the other. It was just really, really awesome. But that's not my life right now. I'm not trying to pretend. trying to get a house that's a good financial investment. So yeah, that was disappointing. I left knowing that wasn't going to be the house. And an unfortunate part of that was that every other house we saw after that, like this little, this wonderful house, or at least well-decorated house, was in the back of my mind, and I was having to put that to the side and try to be objective about what I was seeing. And so it was tough, but I think luckily a lot of the houses we saw after that house were actually not very good choices for a number of reasons. Some of them were literally like sunken in, it felt bad, or I felt bad for the people that had put a lot of work into this house. Like they bought it cheap, made it look nice, but they had forgotten to do something or something. So like the ground literally felt soft, like you were walking in like semi-dried out Jello. What am I trying to say? It was bouncy. The ground was bouncy. So we were seeing houses like that had stuff wrong with them, that it wasn't even on the table that this was the right choice. And in that, we spent so much time looking at houses like that, I got some distance between myself and that really cool house, and so did my parents, because they felt the same way about that really fancy house. And also I got to see some more stuff. My mom is a real estate agent. My dad has his real estate license, but he's a broker. So they work as a team. They do real estate stuff all the time. They've seen more houses than, like a developer has built. So I needed to see more. I needed to expand my real estate horizons and better understand what was on the table, what wasn't, what makes something good and safe and nice and a good investment, and what makes it not, all that. Part of growing up, part of purchasing your first property, that kind of thing. And finally we found a house a few days ago. Well, give my dad credit, he found the house. And it wasn't tremendously interesting. I'll tell you what was really interesting about it here in a second, but it wasn't a tower out of Harry Potter. It wasn't decorated at all. It was completely empty. Nobody was living in it, and the person that owned it, that was selling it, wasn't interested in dressing this house up. It was good. We went in and it was good, and the backyard was huge. Nolly's gonna love it. She already did, actually. She already got to go out and do her business, but also run around in this giant. It's more acreage than my parents have, than I had growing up. There's, we had room to run at that house, and at this house there's even more. So it was good. It had that. It had, like the appliances were nice. The cabinetry had been replaced at some point. The water heater's solid. The dryer and the clothing washer, what's that called? Washer that came with the house were good, stuff like that. The fridge is fine. There's plenty of space. It's lighter. One problem with my house right now is it doesn't really have very many windows at all, and the windows it has aren't facing in the correct directions to bring in light. So my house is very dark. And it doesn't, I don't mind that, but my plants do. And I think there are times when I would benefit from not sitting in the dark. 'Cause like right now I'm recording this at like 10 a.m. So it's bright outside, even though it's almost winter now, it's still bright outside. And my living room, which is where I spend most of my time when I'm not in the office, is basically still dark. So I have to have lights on all the time, whatever. So this house has a ton of windows, really interesting windows. That's not the interesting thing I was gonna tell you, but so it's got lots of natural light. The paint on the wall is like a very light gray. So the house is just brighter in general, but in a mature way, not in a like everything's pink, isn't that fun, ponies are beautiful, bright kind of way, but in a bright way that you could see it decorated modestly and shining that way. The part that really stuck out to me was, well, I guess two things. One is the way that the house is laid out, and the ceilings, by the way, are like, I don't know, height. Very, very, very tall. And every room and every area, even the kitchen, has vaulted ceilings, and so that makes it feel so much bigger. I'm 6'2". It's not like I'm bumping my head on the ceiling when I get up out of this chair, but I do struggle to navigate things that other people who aren't my size don't even consider. run into my bookshelf, which is not hanging from the ceiling. I'm not bumping my head on my bookshelf, but I'm a big guy and I run into stuff. I'm pretty clumsy anyways. It's nice to feel that I have lots of space, but the way that it's laid out, I'm probably going to end up with my office where I record at in the living room. And it's because there's a really nice corner, again, under these vaulted ceilings with some very, this is the part that really attracted me, super interesting, like, overhangs in this living room. I've never seen anything like it, at least, in all the houses that we saw. I'm sure there's something out there. It's not like this is one of a kind, but to me it is. These overhangs, and I can have stuff draped and decorated to make my office interesting, like this room is. You can't see what I'm looking at, but this room is to me right now. And it'll be brighter and bigger and feel more breathable. That's the part that really attracted me, that really was intriguing to me, is how much it's going to change my day-to-day, my time when I'm relaxing or working on something that isn't a video, and how much it's going to change my day-to-day when it comes to recording. I'm not just going to go off to this space where I'm separated from the rest of my house, and I'm kind of cramped. I like it here, but I'm cramped. It's going to change a lot of things, I think, for the better. And even if I decide to put the office in one of the offices at this house, or bedrooms really, it's still going to be brighter and bigger. And I'm going to change some things. I'm always going to want purple and black somehow associated with me and my channel, because those are the colors that I like, and blue lights, and it to be relaxing for me. And I've got, my bear and my other stuffed animals are, he's Dusty, sorry bud, they're gonna be around, but God, editing, making thumbnails where I have to cut my picture out of this background, like take a still frame from a video and then put that in the thumbnail, it cannot, and I have Photoshop that I pay for, it cannot differentiate my hair from the background very well. So there'll be some stuff that I'm going to change, because I didn't know any of this stuff when I started, and I'm sure that there's still stuff to learn about creating content. I certainly hope there is. There has to be. I'm not a master of it, so but I'm excited, and you can probably tell. The house is really neat, and so the vaulted ceilings, like I said, the lighter color, these overhangs that are super interesting. I haven't seen them anywhere else. This giant fenced yard for me to put a fire pit in, to have friends over, to have, more importantly for Nolly to get to run. She can't run where I live right now, and it's not because we don't have a fenced yard. We do, but she's so fast that if she starts running, she's already at the other side of the yard before she's gotten to full speed. She was booking it. I wish I had recorded it. I just wasn't thinking to. Yesterday when we were there, I think it was the second time that I had been there, third time for my parents or third time for my dad, whatever. She's booking it and just running, big circles around this yard, excited. She'll get used to it. It'll be her yard. It won't be as exciting anymore, whatever, but she'll have that space. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to show it to you guys as I can. It's not going to be for another, what day is today? 20. It'll be at least a month. I'm going to try to set it up so I don't have to skip too many days of recording. I don't want to say I'm not going to skip any, because I'll probably have to. But, and I know I always say I'm going to do stuff and then I don't. So maybe I just won't do any of the stuff that I'm about to say. But I'll show you the house. I want to show you the house, show you the yard, show you the neighborhood, that kind of thing. At least show you the house. I don't know that I'm going to be new to the neighborhood and start, walking around with my phone recording people's houses. That's probably not what I'll do. But, yeah, so thank you everybody for your advice, your suggestions, and telling me that it was to make a financially mature choice, even though it means your parents being involved in your finances for a little bit longer, doesn't mean that you're choosing dependence. It just means that you're willing to move in a direction that you hadn't necessarily expected would be the direction you would be moving, because it's the right way to go. So take care of yourselves. I'll keep you updated. Regular videos this week, of course. Like I said, it'll be another month at least before there's any difference, any weird change in my schedule for it, which would just be temporary anyways. But yeah, talk to you soon.